Hello, my name is Porrick Kittrick, and I'm the Head of Audiological Sciences at the National Acoustical Laboratories here in Sydney, Australia. And I want to tell you about work that we've been doing to examine the benefits of technology from ReSound. We're interested in M&RIE, the microphone and receiver in the canal technology, because of the fact that the placement of the microphone in the canal really gives us an opportunity to restore much more natural hearing and to encode some of the cues that are key to sound quality and spatial listening. In our work, we looked at 3 different areas of potential benefit. First, we looked at whether M&RIE improves localization, that is, where sounds are coming from, and what we found was that our listeners were significantly better at telling where sounds came from in a very demanding localization test with the M&RIE compared to standard microphone placement in a behind-the-ear configuration. We actually found that more than 80% of our listeners were better at telling where sounds were coming from with the M&RIE. And we also found that the performance with the M&RIE was not significantly different from performance with natural hearing. Another key thing that we found that's very relevant for environmental awareness and safety is that our listeners made significantly fewer mistakes about whether a sound was in front or behind them with the M&RIE compared to the standard microphone placement on behind-the-ear hearing aids. Next, we move on to sound quality assessments, where we placed our participants into naturalistic sound environments that we recreated using a multi-loudspeaker array. We found that 2 out of every 3 of our listeners preferred M&RIE to other alternatives across a range of noisy listening situations. In fact, over 80% of our listeners preferred M&RIE over pinna restoration features, for example, in a situation with moderate background noise, so very representative of everyday life. We also found that only the M&RIE improved overall sound quality and the naturalness of sound and the quality of speech, and it did so significantly compared to the standard placement of microphones behind the ear on hearing aids. So there are real sound quality benefits to this technology. And finally, last but certainly not least, is listening effort. We use a listening test approach, which gets our listeners to rate the amount of effort that they're having to put in to understand speech at various different signal-to-noise ratios. Over 90% of our listeners experience less listening effort when using M&RIE. So with that, I'm going to hand over to my colleague Catherine, who's going to tell you about the experience of our listeners and what they had to say about using M&RIE.
Let's take a closer look at the experiences shared by the participants in this study. One of the tests performed was the localization test, which involved a 250 millisecond white noise emitted from a 16-speaker array. Picture the participants surrounded by these speakers, challenged to identify the precise source of the sound. Sounds deceptively simple, yet the task proved to be far more challenging than anticipated, as remarked by most participants. Interestingly, some people also noted that differentiating the speaker location was more difficult with the standard microphone placement compared to M&RIE technology. Although the participants weren't aware of their accuracy and responses at the time of testing, they perceived the decision-making process to be easier with M&RIE. This aligns with our knowledge that M&RIE technology preserves essential information that aids in accurate localization. Moving on to another test, participants performed a sound quality assessment. Here they listened to a male talker within cafe noise and a female talker within food court noise through the 16 surrounding speakers. I will share the feedback of participant 9, who shared valuable insight throughout the testing process. In the sound quality test, both standard microphone placement and M&RIE technology were used, with the order of presentation randomly assigned. Participant 9 commenced with the standard microphone placement as their initial condition. As they completed the test and submitted their subjective evaluation, I entered the booth and changed over to the hearing aids with M&RIE technology. After starting the test again, I received an unexpected call from participant 9 via my headphones. They raised an issue, sharing their perception that during the previous session with standard microphone placement, the background noise seemed to originate from the hearing aids and their head. However, with the M&RIE condition, the noise sounded like the source was the surrounding speaker array, as it should have been. Participant 9 found this to be such a stark contrast in sound, they mistakenly assumed an error had occurred. This is a perfect illustration of ReSound's organic hearing philosophy, particularly emphasizing the M&RIE benefit, which preserves the natural sound quality. This technology enables individuals to discern different sound sources and accurately judge depth and distance. The participants' reported experiences shed light on the impact of ReSound's innovative approach to hearing, the challenges encountered during the localization and sound quality tests, along with the notable distinction between standard microphone placement and M&RIE technology, demonstrate the importance of preserving natural sound quality for enhanced auditory perception.